Now, writing sprints are essentially blocks of time that you've dedicated to writing your book. Of course, you can also use writing sprints to write a blog post. It all comes down to writing the content regardless of what it is. Well, I'm Mike with WriterSanctuary, and today we're going to be looking at the benefits of writing sprints and how to create them yourself. Now, what is a writing sprint exactly? Well, in a nutshell, it's when you set aside a specific block of time for nothing but writing your manuscript. The purpose is to get more of the story written, which means more focus on writing and less on editing. Hence the name, it's a sprint for writing your text. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect, and it could be missing elements that you want to include in your story. But that's what the editing phase is for, to flesh out those bits. The point is to write as much as possible within the allotted time. Sounds easy enough, right? Well, what are some of the benefits of writing sprints? Well, first of all, you're setting aside a chunk of time that you can write without distraction. This means you can get the first draft of your story finished in less time according to your schedule. Even if you write 100 more words today, it's probably still more than you wrote yesterday. Secondly, writing sprints can give you motivation to write more, especially if you wind up making a habit out of the process. Now, if you get it into your head that these are vital, it helps with fueling accountability while making the whole process feel more urgent. Next up, writing sprints improve time efficiency in your writing. Instead of focusing too much time deliberating over changes, the focus is to just get the story out of your head. That means you're more focused on writing a story in a timely manner. You don't want to be one of those people who spend the next 6 years tinkering on a sequel to your book. Now, one of the greatest benefits of writing sprints is how they are flexible even for the most busy of schedules. A sprint can be anything from 5 minutes to an hour. It all depends on how much time you have in the day. Now, not everybody can afford to set aside a 2-hour chunk of time to write their book. 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, it all adds up throughout the day. Another benefit is that writing sprints help you shift from a perfectionist mindset. Now, writing in general is subjective. Writing a good book is really up to the reader. You can't please 100% of the people 100% of the time. And no one writes a perfect first draft. And that book is not the one you're going to publish. Of course, I am meaning how much you'll change the book and alter the story during the editing phase. But the idea behind writing sprints is to avoid trying to make it a perfect sentence and just write the damn story. You can polish it up later on. Lastly, and one of the benefits that I often focus on, is how writing sprints can help you gamify your word count. For example, I see my word count as a type of high score for the day. Can I beat my high score by writing more of my book within the time I've set aside? It's this kind of gamification that keeps me pushing forward whether I'm writing a book or a blog post. That's because I'm a bit of a geek with a spreadsheet and know exactly how many words I write throughout the year. Now, you probably don't need to go to that extent, but you can see how having that goal in front of you, how many words you wrote yesterday in a 10-minute period versus how much you can write today. Never underestimate the value of gamification. It's one of the reasons why so many businesses put it into practice nowadays. It's all about making the process fun and less of a mundane chore. Okay, if those benefits have tempted you, let's take a look at how to create your own writing sprints. Step 1 is to make sure you have a chunk of time that is free from distraction. That means no social media, no messing around on Hulu, and no looking for other things to do other than writing your manuscript. Remember, the chunk of time is specifically for writing. Step 2 is to create a realistic goal for yourself. Now, realistic goals will keep you from getting frustrated as they are often tailored to your abilities and your schedule. In other words, if you don't have a 2-hour chunk of time in your day, don't make that your goal. Base goals on what you're able to accomplish from the past. Step 3 is to set your timer. How long do you plan on writing during your sprint? Now, if you need a timer on your computer, Google Online Timer. It will give you one that is pretty basic and you can customize it to fit your time frame. Or you can just set one on your phone. Step 4, start writing the project. Once you hit start on the timer, focus on nothing more than writing the words. The entire point of a writing sprint is to get as much written down as possible within that time frame. Then step 5, stop and relax. Once your timer goes off, stop writing, save your work, and take a rest. Now, if you plan on chaining more than one writing sprint together, which a lot of people do, I suggest getting up and going for a walk or doing something that is away from your computer and your phone. Do something that relaxes you, take a breath, maybe even read a book. But I find that separating myself from technology for those 10 to 20 minutes at a time is greatly beneficial for not only my creativity, but for motivation to continue writing afterward. So there you go. That's all there is to it for setting up a writing sprint. Now, it's nothing fancy. It is merely there to help you write as much as possible within what little time you have throughout the day. Now, for me, I usually have a 2-hour block of time set aside dedicated for writing my books. Although I often make sure I am free from distractions, kids and clients usually interrupt me at some point. But to be fair, a 2-hour block in the day is a pretty good sized chunk of time. The bottom line is that I'm able to write between 1,200 and 2,200 words in that time frame depending on what's going on in the story. At the end of the day, it all really comes down to how seriously you want to finish your book. Even a 10-minute writing sprint is better than not writing at all. Now, if you're interested, I am going to be setting up live writing sprints for the channel. It'll be during my 2-hour block of time, and we can write together, and you can see my productivity as I go. I have a few ideas that'll make them a bit unique, but look forward to sharing how I write my books with you. Although I write every day, I think I'll start with a Tuesday and Thursday schedule, just to see how things go. It'll be about 10:30 a.m. Mountain Time. I am pretty flexible in my time, so we'll see what works best for the majority of participants, if I have any. Regardless, I want to be writing my book, so you can join me if you'd like. If not, I'm still writing my book. Anywho, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. For more videos about self-publishing, blogging, freelance writing, or anything else I cover, hit the subscribe button and don't forget to hit the notification bell. I think it's going to do it for me today. I need to write a blog post today. I'll see you next time.